Hey everyone, my name's Jay. Full name is Jeffrey Sherman, but not really relevant. Um, so, just a little bit about me. I did my undergrad in sociology and philosophy, and after that, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with myself, so I wound up bartending for a little while. And when I was bartending, I realized that my favorite days were the slow days when there would just be one person that came in with something they were trying to figure out or something going on in their life, and I could talk them through it, and I could like give them some advice or reframe it in a different perspective. And I just kind of fell in love with the idea of helping people through things and giving them the tools to thrive. So I decided I wanted that to be what I do entirely. Like, not like mixing drinks wasn't really what I was passionate about. And that's what led me into going into social work. But, anyways, a couple of the things that I feel like I learned from the readings this week. One of the things that stood out to me was I didn't realize that it wasn't until 2009 that so many interventions for avoiding out of home placement were put in place for children. My internship last year was in multisystemic therapy, and we were kind of like the last line of defense before a child would be placed out of the home. So there were a lot of complicated situations and a lot of things to navigate, and we used a lot of various services to try to mitigate the factors that were going on in people's lives. I remember we had one client who was living with his grandmother and multiple other siblings in a hotel room, and they were very far behind on the payments for staying in that hotel room. And we referred them to other services within the nonprofit organization that I now work at. And I don't know, I think that it's cool that we've made that progress. I just didn't realize that it was that recent that these intentions were put in place. So I don't know, I'm glad we're moving forward, and I'm glad that we're, doing what we can to work with these people. And another thing that stood out to me that I learned was the high cost of what a maltreated child is. The lifetime cost being 831,000 per child, and if it's a fatal maltreatment, 16.6 million per child. That just was that was kind of eye opening to me, and I don't know. I think that's something that's worth reflecting on, because I mean, not only for how it affects the child, but how it affects our society in general. And if that money could have gone to the family in the first place, then we might have been able to avoid their impoverished situation where they're desperate and not able to fulfill the needs of the child. I mean, as we read, most of the instances of child abuse are neglect rather than actual like like direct abuse and mistreatment of the child. So I don't know. It's a lot to think about. I mean, I grew up in a not very well off family, and I grew up in Detroit. So a lot of the things that I read about, I found myself feeling very introspective and thinking about like how did these things affect me, and it's definitely there's a lot to unpack there. More than I can do in 5 minutes, that's for sure. But I hope you're all doing well, and we're kind of in the mid semester crunch time. So everybody take care of yourselves. All right, bye.